All right, welcome everybody. This is the assignment for Thursday, March 19th. First thing today is if you would go to today's question under classwork in Google Classroom and write a one-paragraph response. And it is asking you to reflect on what you learned from the building background packet. Since some of you are new to me, we frequently start class with some sort of prompt response, some sort of writing, and it is not a right or wrong answer type of writing. The only wrong answer is not to do it. Aim for a 5 to 7 sentence response, which is appropriate for juniors in high school. Of course, it can be longer if you have more to say, and some prompts might speak more to you than others. After that, I'll have you go to Google Docs and create a new document. There's 2 ways you can do this, and then title it first and last name TTTC, which is going to be short for the things they carried, chapter notes 1. I'm going to have you turn in the chapter notes kind of like a chunk at a time while we're reading the things they carried. And the chapters are named, not really numbered. So I'll refer to the chapters typically by their name. And then if you go to this link here, it's going to take you to a chapter notes document that I've created. And so you can copy and paste this chart that I've created, but also if you're especially, it's not really tech savvy, but you can also just make a copy of this. Either way, making your own copy of this document. I have more chapter notes in here than that I've planned for, but for right now, we are just getting started on chapter 1. Okay, so we're going to turn our attention to various things throughout reading this book, but one kind of uniting set of questions that I'd like you to think about while we are reading is, what does this chapter reveal about the character or characters? And what does this chapter reveal about the war? So we're going to start with chapter 1 today. I'm going to read a little bit to you. I'm going to demonstrate the type of notes that I would like you to be taking. And then I'm going to set you loose to finish up the chapter on your own. There is also a link to the audiobook here. The complete audiobook is available. If we were all together, I would be reading this book mostly with you. And so we will kind of go back and forth a little bit. But I do suggest you listen to the audiobook. You will need to read along in order to complete your chapter notes, but it can just be really helpful with your reading comprehension if you want to use that, or just as a way to break it up. You know, maybe you get it really into a chapter and you want to read it. Maybe another day you're just isolated and going stir crazy and you want to listen to the audiobook to kind of break it up. One little bit of warning though is we would not be doing this in class aloud. There are some swear words in the book. It's not gratuitous, but it is war. And I don't know about you, but I definitely feel that in that high pressure situation, I would probably be using some words as well. And so, just fair warning there, that it's, not meant to be gratuitous, but meant to really capture the voice too of, we have to think these are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old young men who have been sent halfway across the world into a very frightening and stressful situation. Okay, so I'm going to read the first little bit of the things they carried. So if you want to open up your books to the first chapter titled The Things They Carried. And I want you to think about this in a couple different ways. One, The chapter is going to address some of the literal things that they carry, some of the actual items that the soldiers carry along with them, but also there's the more like metaphorical things that they carry. These can be like emotional, and we're going to talk, that notion of the things that you carry is going to be a writing prompt in the next couple days as well. Okay, so I'm going to read this first paragraph, and then I'm going to demonstrate the type of notes I'd like you to take. First Lieutenant Jimmy Cross carried letters from a girl named Martha, a junior at Mount Sebastian College in New Jersey. They were not love letters, but Lieutenant Cross was hoping. So he kept them folded in plastic at the bottom of his rucksack. In the late afternoon, after a day's march, he would dig his foxhole, wash his hands under a canteen, unwrap the letters, hold them with the tips of his fingers, and spend the last hour of light pretending. He would imagine romantic camping trips into the White Mountains of New Hampshire. He would sometimes taste the envelope flaps, knowing her tongue had been there. More than anything, he wanted Martha to love him as he loved her. But the letters were mostly chatty, elusive on the matter of love. She was a virgin, he was most sure. She was an English major at Mount Sebastian, and she wrote beautifully about her professors and roommates and midterm exams, about her respect for Chaucer and her great affection for Virginia Woolf. She often quoted lines of poetry. She never mentioned the war, except to say, "Jimmy, take care of yourself." The letters weighed 10 ounces. They were signed, "Love, Martha." But Lieutenant Cross understood that love was only a way of signing and did not mean that he sometimes pretended it meant. At dusk, he would carefully return the letters to his rucksack. Slowly, a bit distracted, he would get up and move among his men, checking the perimeter. Then, at full dark, he would return to his hole and watch the night and wonder if Martha was a virgin. Okay, so what this looks like here, we have our first character, Lieutenant Jimmy Cross. So you have the characters. There's more characters than just this in the chapter, but these are the ones that I want you focusing on, as well as what they carried. Now, this chapter goes back and forth between narrative, like this paragraph, and actual just listing what they carried. So, of course, I do not want you to type up every single thing they carried. Think about the most meaningful things. Think about the things that make the greatest impact on you as a reader. Think about the things that reveal the most about a character and reveal the most about war. So things like carrying a Bible. You'll see this character carries a Bible. A character carries pantyhose around his neck. I'm trying to think. I don't remember off the top of my head which one that is. You know, the things that stand out. So rest assured, you don't have to write down every single thing. So Lieutenant Jimmy Cross, first things we write down, he carries these letters from Martha. What does this reveal about the character? Now, we know a little bit more, too, that these letters give Cross hope. As you're referring to characters, typically refer to them by their last name. But he seems aware of the truth. What does this reveal about the war? Hope can help keep soldiers going. And maybe I'm going to go back in here. Hope and thinking about people at home can help keep soldiers going. I did not make these boxes the size that I anticipated you would necessarily need. You know, I imagine by the end of the chapter, they're going to be a little bit larger. So feel free to kind of add to them as you go. The next paragraph. Actually, I wanted to share. I think that might wait for another video. We'll see. Okay, so you have the first chapter, The Things They Carried, it's about 20 pages long. If you listen to the audio from here on out, it's about 45 minutes. So reading, listening, and taking these chapter notes, please. There is a Q&A page up on Google Classroom if you have questions. You will be getting credit for responding to your daily prompts. You will be turning in chapter notes, kind of a chunk at a time. So I haven't broken it kind of down yet. I'm adjusting, of course, the plans I had originally had. And so probably about every 4 chapters, I'm going to have you turn in your chapter notes, but we'll see. I'll keep you posted. All right. Take care, be safe out there, and I'll chat with you soon.